What is up, guys? Here with the 27th shelf of my action movie collection. Starting off with King Arthur. I love these medieval war movies, and this is done extremely well, and it's even more close up and intense than like a grander movie like Gladiator, because of the director. I love Antoine Fuqua, but absolutely amazing. Not a Clive Owen fan really, but he does amazing in this movie. But definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it before. Then we have The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. This is a pretty solid watch. I mean, it's not the best movie out there, but it's still very interesting. A woman's husband and her current boyfriend, who he's cheating on her husband with, going up in the mountains. The boyfriend was going to kill the husband to get the money and get the girl, and it turns out that they have to fight off a bear and have to work together. So definitely a very interesting concept. Then we have What Lies Beneath with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. Very, very good, like kind of murder, mystery, thriller kind of thing. You know, very, very good. Harrison Ford does absolutely phenomenal in this movie. You know, you need to check this one out. Then we have In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood, John Malkovich, and Rene Russo. Very solid movie, a different type of movie for Clint Eastwood too, which made it interesting. And I love the director, Wolfgang Peterson. 100% worth checking out if you like political thrillers. John Malkovich is phenomenal in this movie. Then we have Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson and Gene Hackman. An odd pairing considering Owen Wilson up to this point was a strict comedic actor, and he does absolutely phenomenal in this movie, bouncing off of Gene Hackman nonetheless. Gene Hackman is super underrated as far as being one of the best actors out there for sure. Then we have Behind Enemy Lines 2, Axis of Evil. Definitely a lower budget movie. You know, nowhere near the scale of the first one. Nicholas Gonzalez does a great job carrying this movie, though. But beyond that, it's just your standard B action movie with name only. Then we have Behind Enemy Lines Columbia. A little bit better than Axis of Evil, but not much better. A lot of the same returning B-movie actors there, Keith David and such. But I mean, it's a solid watch if you haven't seen it before. Then we have Twisted with Ashley Judd, Samuel L. Jackson, and Andy Garcia. Kind of like a whodunit mystery kind of thing. You don't know which cop is the killer, which one's not, who to trust, who not to. Love those types of movies where you don't really know what's going on until the very end. This is definitely one of those. Then we have Unfaithful with Richard Gere and Diane Lane. Very, very good movie. Richard Gere and Diane Lane do really well together here. I mean, it's one of those movies you definitely just need to see to understand it. But worth checking out. Then we go classic here with Arnold Schwarzenegger's Raw Deal. This was one of those movies I didn't see up until probably about 8 years ago. And I watched it and I absolutely loved it. You want to talk about throwback 80s action, this is it right here. I mean, classic revenge action thriller, undercover cop deal. 100% worth checking out. Then we have Heart's War with Bruce Willis and Colin Farrell. These two didn't bounce too well off each other. The movie was okay, but for some reason, you know, maybe it's because Colin Farrell was still kind of new. But I don't know. There was just something off about this movie. So it didn't really float my boat. Comment down below if you've seen this movie and what you thought about it. Then we've got more classic movies. Rocky with Sylvester Stallone. Not my favorite Rocky movie. I'd probably say this is probably like my third favorite Rocky movie. But I mean, definitely one of the best sports franchise movies out there for sure. You know, classic. Then we've got Rocky 2. I enjoyed this more than I enjoyed the first one. Just more of the struggles of kind of blowing through your money and not managing it, and having to go back into doing something you didn't want to do, but still, making the dream come true. Classic sports motivational movie here. Fantastic movie. With a higher budget than the first one as well. So then we've got Rocky 3. Classic. I love all these Rocky movies. I really do. And this one's no exception. Loved it, dealing with his trainer dying and all that type of stuff. So, great comeback action sports movie. Then we've got Rocky 4, which is probably one of my favorite Rocky movies. The fight with Dolph Lundgren, the Russian and all that stuff was great with the death of Apollo Creed and all that. Have not seen the director's cut of this movie. I heard that's out. I don't know if it's any different than this cut. Comments down below if you've seen that, if it's worth checking out, if it's much different or just like a scene or two that's different. And then we've got Rocky 5, which is one that Stallone, I guess, didn't want to make, and it shows with this movie. This movie is not good. Has nothing to do really with boxing at all. Rocky doesn't fight. It's a street fight at the end, which is dumb. So, not my cup of tea. Wish they hadn't made this one. Then we have Rocky Balboa. This is a great Rocky movie right here. Like, if this would have been Rocky 5, it would have been great. Absolutely, very underrated. They don't make sports movies like this anymore, sadly. But this is absolutely phenomenal. Then we have Money Train with Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, and Jennifer Lopez. Solid action movie for sure, taking down corruption and all that type of stuff with them being cops and all. I mean, if you're a fan of Wesley Snipes, surprisingly, these two work really well together, just like they did in White Men Can't Jump. And then you add Jennifer Lopez into it, and it's just that much better. Then there's The Thin Red Line. Great cast. Definitely not hating on the cast. Unfortunately, the movie itself was really slow. Terrence Malick is known for his long, slow type of movies, and this is one of them. But I mean, if you're just watching it for the actors themselves, you can watch it for that, but I don't know. This movie didn't do it for me. It came out the same year as Saving Private Ryan, and Saving Private Ryan was definitely better than this. Then we have Passengers with Anne Hathaway and Patrick Wilson. This is a great movie. This is one of those twist and turn movies where you really don't know what's going on until the end. I'm not going to ruin it for you and tell you what it's about. But if you like those types of movies, you will absolutely love this movie, and you need to check it out right away. I'm sure this is one of those movies that's probably on a streaming service somewhere because it's made by Sony and Columbia. So I'm sure you can find this somewhere. Then we have Navy SEALs, another one of those classic 80s action movies. Kind of like the early version of The Expendables in a way, only not as big of stars. I mean, now they are, but back then they kind of weren't. You had Charlie Sheen, Dennis Haysbert, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton, all in the same movie kind of thing. Kind of like an early version of The Expendables. Then we have The Mod Squad. This is a movie I picked up for like $1 or $2 somewhere. I forgot where. It's been a while. But I wasn't expecting much out of it, but I liked the actors, and it turned out to be a great movie. I mean, this one was one that kind of jumped up and kind of surprised me. So definitely worth checking out. Then we have The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. I love this movie. It is super interesting. A type of movie that hadn't been made before. You know, oh man. I mean, then Anthony Mackie's in the movie as well. I mean, just, if you're Matt Damon at this point was on a roll and could do no wrong. So, worth checking out. Then lastly, we have Armored. Solid, low budget, great cast though. Action, heist, armored car movie. So, I mean, it is what it is. It was a movie that came out in January, but it was very solid. It earned its, I'm surprised it wasn't R, to be honest with you. But, yeah, worth checking out if you're into those low budget kind of action movies. This is definitely the one for you. But that will do it for this shelf. If you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. I'm also over on Letterboxd. The link to that is over in the profile description of this channel. Otherwise, until next time, guys.